Sneakerheads are getting content. Yes, they're actually happy with what they have, and that's becoming a huge problem for the companies, I know. For once, sneakerheads are actually putting their mental health and their values ahead of buying more sneakers. We're actually at a place where we see that we have enough, right? And we've become grateful for the things that we actually have. And on top of that, sneakerheads are actually starting to invest in things outside of sneakers. Oh my God, what a radical change has occurred in the past couple of months. Why? Sneaker resale prices have gone too high. The releases have gone boring, bland, predictable, and people have started to realize that, you know what, I don't need every sneaker that comes out. I don't have to add it to my collection. And at the end of the day, they're just man-made objects. After all, we are people. There's a lot more to our personality besides sneakers. And I think there's a revolution occurring in fashion where people are starting to invest more into their own personality and their own spirit, and the items that they wear are a reflection of that, and they don't have to comprise their whole value, right? And to be honest with you, the whole system of sneakers was built upon the fact that you would never get happy, that you would never be content, and you'd always be trying to fulfill and do more and more to strike your own ego. Isn't that messed up? The companies who make these sneakers and sell these sneakers and give them back to you want you to be stuck in this rut, in this cycle where you're constantly wanting more, more, and more. And now you're in a position where you feel okay with what you have. You don't feel the need to expand and buy more and obsess over sneakers. There's nothing wrong with seeking validation and happiness from something external. It's human nature, whether it be sneakers, food, people. We all find happiness from things that don't come from ourselves, right? When your happiness is dependent on these things to constantly be present in your life, you need that newness to fulfill that dopamine rush, it gets a little bit unhealthy. And I'm seeing in my comments and the interactions I have with people every single day, we have become more content and more humble. Look at the current sneaker trends that we see today. New Balances and Asics are starting to pop off. You don't have to wear big brand recognizable shoes, right? You don't have to wear Nike. You don't have to wear Adidas. You can go out with some Osiris's, some Diodora, as long as it looks good. And this is great for people's mental health because of the fact that you don't have to spend that much money in order to feel accepted. Because that's the whole thing behind sneakers, right? We want to feel a part of a community. You want to feel accepted into something that's much bigger than what you are. Sneaker resale was once the pilot of the ship of the community that brought people together. People would make trades, trade stories, and then they would ultimately come together and exchange goods in order to feel some type of connection. In this digital age that we live in, that has been erased and replaced with apps, and now we're at a point where we feel more connected with our hate of sneaker resale, and people are more focused on understanding each other and the stories behind what got you into sneakers, because there's a big wave of people that just recently got into sneakers in the past couple of years. The shift to contentment has been really important for what we have today. I think the contentment is allowing people to expand into other areas. I noticed that a lot of sneakerheads are starting to get into more of a fashion appeal. They're starting to wear clothing that reflects a good mental health and a good mental image. People are starting to get more into exercise, skincare, reading books. There's such an expansive nature to this fact that we have become content with no longer seeking the validation of buying man-made objects over and over and over again. There are people that are buying multiple sneakers a month, and now you're investing your money into something else. You're investing your money into your growth, college, a new job, anything, a business. If you really think about it, shoes were made for one purpose, to help you walk towards your destination. And now people are using sneakers for what their intended purpose is. And it was greed that got us to this point, guys. Sneaker resale came and took over what culture was. It made things so expensive to the point where people just had to be content with what they had because they weren't able to spend thousands of dollars on sneakers. They didn't have that type of money. They didn't have that luxury. So they were backed into a corner and they had to make decisions. Do I buy reps? Do I buy new brands? Do I just cut off my arm and leg to buy sneakers? And that does a lot to somebody's mental health. It generates a lot of stress because now there's a lot of stress in their purchasing decisions, how they spend their money. And then when you factor in inflation and all the recent natural disasters like a hurricane, an earthquake, all the pressures that come with being a part of this culture, people have had to make a decision. Is my mental health worth the fashion and the validation? It's not, guys. And a lot of people have gotten to this point. I'm so happy that we have finally gotten content with what we have, and people can look and see there are other things in this world besides just sneakers. There's more that binds us, connects us together than just sneakers. Set new goals for yourself. Learn to love the things about you that are more important than just the shoes. Where are you at with your goals that you set at the beginning of the year? Where are you at with your mental health, your relationships with other people? Sometimes we have to take these items off the pedestal and we have to look at the other areas of our life that are missing. Sometimes this greedy, capitalistic, consumeristic nature that we get so caught up in stops us from seeing the really important things in life, the principles and the values, guys. And now you're in a position where you can build your confidence up with something other than sneakers, because now we're in an age where the price tag doesn't even matter anymore because of the reps, because of used sneakers. The clout and the hype and the confidence and the validation that you get is almost non-existent from my observations, right? You can look at a recent Travis Scott release, right? They actually dropped in price. They're only going for like $500, $600 now compared to when they're worth $1,500, $2,000 on first day of release, because people have realized, you know what? It's the same sneaker over and over again. I'm just wearing this so I can have the reverse swoosh and feel cool. You can buy a replica sneaker and have that same feeling, right? Except now you're buying something that's quote unquote real in order to get the validation of other people. You can see that all of this really ties back to what people's self-image and perception of how they are viewed by other people. And I have to tell you that, and I need to tell you that that comes from within. It doesn't come from the pocket. The whole system, everything that we are built upon is forced to make you feel uncontent and unhappy with what you have. And the moment you started being grateful was the moment this whole system broke and fell apart. The moment you started showing yourself love, the moment you started investing in other things besides sneakers, all of a sudden Nike wants to come out and say, hey, we're releasing all these grails and we're going to make sneakers more affordable next year. Why weren't they doing that from the jump? They don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to be content with what you have. They want you to keep trying to fill a hole with sneakers over and over again. And I love shoes. I love fashion more than the next man. But you know what? After a certain point, I want you guys to start looking in the mirror and looking at yourselves and asking yourself, are you happy with who you are?